for some camping, I think. Let's do it. You just set up right under this, under the tree right there. Be a good spot, I think. Okay, so this is how I utilize toggles. Use basically no knots, just these little sticks. That's my prusik. I can tension the tarp with that easily. Just move this back and forth, and yeah, I can adjust my ridge line. I can make it lower. Probably should have made it a little bit lower, but I'm sure I could. I have a trucker's hitch down here that I tied, so that's how you pull so much tension on the line. Well, I utilize this trucker's hitch so I can undo this and easily lower the height down. Everything's adjustable using toggles and prusiks. And when you're in the rain, as I am today, you know, time can be important. Like when you're trying to get yourself set up, you need to, you know, formulate a plan and then just get on with it. Because if you're like I purposely wore cotton today. As you can see, I got cotton duck pants on, and I'm already literally wet. I got my tin shirt on. Well, it's not tin anymore, but hickory striped shirt on now. So I deliberately wore this to get wet, to see how I can deal with basic stuff and see what's going to happen. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up my tarp, and I'm going to do a little bit of ground cleaning, and then I'm going to go look for something to start a fire with, because I got to dry out. I'm already soaked. So yeah, there we go. Okay, I got her cleaned up a little bit. I have a little rough bedding area right there. I'm thinking I'm going to put my fire just under this corner here. It's not going to be a big fire. I don't need a big fire. I just need enough to cook my meal with and basically scare off the Bigfoot. So now I'm going to go around and look for some tinder to start my fire. This is a fir, and sort of mixed fir and deciduous conifer and deciduous forest. However, there is some old nasty cedar stumps, as you can see here. Probably could find something in there. I'm not too concerned, so maybe I'll try and pull some off of this stump here and see if we can just give you an idea what I'm talking about. Like, this stump's probably close to 6 or 7 feet in diameter. There's also a rotten old fir stump right there too. That might even be better. If we could find some fat wood. That one looks like it's probably a little too far gone, but yeah, I'll try this cedar here and see what I can do. So you can see this is, even though it's rotten, it's still fairly solid. So I'm going to try and see if I can chop into it, get a piece to split off. It's actually harder than I thought to get this off. Nice little bone dry piece of cedar, just like that. In the middle of a rainstorm, really. You know, I haven't even really looked around the area yet to see, you know, if there's other better stuff. I mean, I can throw my wood into my tarp right now, so I haven't really looked around much. My focus is just to get myself dry now. I don't know if you can tell, but the stuff's like a sponge. It's cotton, and we call it death denim in the caving community, because if you once you're wet, it's almost impossible to dry out. So like I was saying earlier, I want to try and do some things that, you know, are a little bit more challenging. I have some of the modern hiking equipment and stuff that I'm using today, but you know, I am planning to sleep on the ground with no tent I did bring a lighter. I always bring a lighter. Actually, I got two, but I don't plan to use it. I do have my ferro rod, so that's why it's so critical to find, you know, something like this where, you know, it's pretty much guaranteed to start. There we go. That's a nice chunk. See, bone dry. Okay. The beauty part of this is I can just keep coming back to this, you know, all night. And as you can see, my tarp is literally right here. So I gotta watch out for this trip wire here. There's a string. I should put a ribbon on that. I did bring some ribbon, and that's the purpose of it. And I put my... All right, and I'm gonna make a feather stick now. Show you what that is in a minute. Okay, so, oh shit, I'll smell this. So, making a feather stick is pretty straightforward. This is a piece of that cedar that I just harvested. The idea of the feather stick is to just create little tiny shavings off the... They're not very good at this. But you just collect these shavings. Actually, what I'm going to do is I got another piece of cedar I brought here to cheat with in case I needed it. See, I don't know if you saw that one. That'll fire up pretty easily. I just want to get a bundle of this stuff together. There's another one. That'll burn. See, it's... And you can actually just kind of fluff it up a bit too to make it even better. Okay, there's another one. See that? It'll light up pretty easily. There. And then you want to have, before you try and start your fire, you always want to have a good supply of smaller tinder so that when the fire gets started, it's ready to go. So typically I like to have a bunch of pieces about that size ready, like a nice pile of it ready to go. You know, now I'm under my tarp, so it's not too bad, and it did stop raining, so it's not as critical, but I do want to get a fire when I am still wet. So we'll get our little tinder pieces, and just little pieces. That's all you need to worry about, especially with the cedar. It does burn really easily. So this is my haversack. I know it looks gay, it is, but inside here I have some goodies. Number one most important goodie is my ferro rod. And what else I got here? Well, I also have this. Oh shit, I just dumped everything out. Like I said, it's my haversack. I have lots of stuff in here, so yeah, I even have a lighter. So, but I'm not going to use the lighter, I'm going to use the striker. So in this bag right here, normally it's not in a bag, I just stuck it in there so when you get wet. I have in here I have char cloth. So char cloth is burnt cotton, and what it does is it takes an ember really easily. It's very delicate. That's a cotton pad. It's very delicate, but it will take an ember. So if you're using flint or steel to start your fire or something, that will work great. This is just a piece of inner tube I use just to keep it closed. You don't want that black shit all over. And then also what I have here, which is probably what I'm just going to use, is this is just a roll of jute twine. So I'll just take a little piece like this, pull that off, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a second. This here are, these are cotton pads soaked in paraffin wax and like barbecue starter fluid. this will burn no matter, like this, I could light this up no problem with my thing. But I'm not going to use those because that would be cheating. So I'm going to try it just with the jute. And yeah, here, just in case you're wondering, I do have a backup later. But like Greg Ovens always says, always carry a lighter with you. Now the neat thing about this jute stuff is, you know, even if it does get a little wet, it can still be lit up. So basically what you want to do is you want to unravel it like that. And then I think you go backwards the other way, yep. And it just turns into this really fine, beautiful fire tinder. You see, you pull it apart, it's just like this mess. And you know, you can, I got a whole roll. I mean, I could use as much as I want. You really don't need that much. And you'll see why in a second. The highway's not too far from me here. I can actually hear cars going in the rain. Thought I was a little further away from it than that. So this is basically what I'm trying to achieve. So I'll just do it with this other piece too. And we'll have a fire in about a minute, I bet. Now, important thing is, oh, let me get this little twig out of the way here. The important thing is that we want to pull our striker, pull our steel away from our put that in my pocket so I don't lose it. But we want to be pulling the ferro rod away. So the reason that is because if you're flicking like this, you have to run the risk of scattering your whole pile. So what I'm going to do is set this up a little bit, stick this inside there, like that. I got all my tinders. Oops, I just fucked it up. All right, let's try that. I got some smaller stuff, some feather sticks. Jesus, I'm wet. Feather sticks, some smaller tinder here, some bigger stuff here. So once this goes, I can immediately move over to the larger stuff. And yeah, so we'll see how this goes. So once again, like I said, you want to stabilize your knife. This fucking leaves. You want to stabilize, sorry, I shouldn't swear. Stabilize your knife, get a good base on your, like that. There we go. Fire, fire, fire. See if it's going to catch. There, I think it is. Yep, there we go. Told you, that jute stuff's amazing. Ouch. All right. So I'm right under my tarp right now, so that's why I built this on a board. So now I'm able to move it over out of the way here. So I'll just move this back over here so we can see. Tilt this up a bit. There we go. And I am going to put this right over here carefully. Carefully, and put that right there because that's not under my tarp. Yeah, fold this down a little. There we go. And you can see I got a couple minutes. I mean, I'm fiddling around. I'm not. Oh, set a fire over here too. So now I can add my bigger pieces. Get those ones going. Try not to put it out like I just about did there. Yes, sirree, we got a fire. Something very satisfying about making a fire. You know, the instant gratification that comes from, you know, the heat. And I've had it where I haven't been able to make a fire. You know, less experience in different conditions, and you know, it's not a pleasant place to be. I've seen lots of people die. I haven't seen them actually die, but I've heard about people dying because they've unable to start a fire. Another important point, which I probably just did, is when you're done using your ferro rod, make sure you put it in your pocket, and same with your knife, because especially in stuff like this, you can see there's dirt and leaves everywhere. It is very, very easy to lose, and then again, that's not good. So yeah, you want to make sure you're taking care of your tools because you're going to need it again probably tomorrow. I mean, sure, you can keep the fire going, but I don't want to lose. That's my favorite real ferro rod. I like that puppy. So, and just like that, my cotton clothes are going to be able to dry out now. So there you go. There's the first lesson, camping with Jason. Oh, you hear the rain starting again. Wouldn't be a camping trip without a cold beer to dry my boots out with. Whew. Surprising how wet you get just walking around. Cheers. Basically what I want to make sure is that I'm not going to burn myself. That sleeping bag isn't cheap. It's still in my pack. I'll show you some of those tricks I use when I pull that stuff out a little later. Now, I mean, it's 3:45, and I don't know. I should probably get my steak out and get it up to room temperature. You know, Vancouver Island is very temperate rainforest, and you know it can be difficult to, if you don't know what you're doing, it can be difficult to find anything dry. Where you want to sort of focus on looking is, you know, of course, those, I know these are old growth cedar stumps. They're probably cut down in the 50s or 40s or 50s, so they're been sitting here a while, but they dry out. You won't find fatwood in cedar. Cedar doesn't pitch up like other conifers do, but it burns very, very easily. So. And again, as simply as I got that cedar tinder from that stump, I could, you know, if something happened, I fell asleep and let the fire go out or whatever, you know, whatever, I was busy doing something else. It wouldn't be hard to get another piece of that and get it started. God damn, nothing like a cold beer. I did stack up a little bit of firewood for a bit. What I'll do is I'll leave that for now. Like I won't pick from that. I'll try and burn stuff around, like, you know, around me, so that I'm not using up my firewood, so that, you know, when it's dark I can easily access it. But there's just everywhere I look, there's branches, and that's something you want to consider when you're selecting your spot to set up your camp. You got to make sure there's firewood around. Like another thing that you need to think about when you're setting up your camp is you got to look above. Like make sure there's no trees that are half hanging, like ready to fall on you, because you know it could happen. But like I was saying, you want to make sure there's no overhead hazards. You want to make sure you're not in a floodplain. So after the fact, I noticed that right over here there's a little bit of a shallow where you can see water has pooled up in the past and puddled. I assume that's probably like a snow melt spot, or, you know, but even digging in the duff here, it's fairly dry. There is a creek just below me here. It's not flowing very hard. As you can see, my fire's already just about going down, so I better get some more. Just chopped a bit of firewood. I was feeling a little bit chilly, so that took about 15 minutes to chop all that pile up there. There's a couple of snags I brought down and then broke them into pieces just by smacking them on a tree. And actually, there's 2 alder trees right there. I use it and just kind of leverage between them to break some of the bigger pieces. I need to get a coal base down to cook my dinner, so it's about as big as I need the fire to be. It's not a huge fire, but I'm warm. You can see my almost getting drier anyways. They're not totally dry yet, but probably, hopefully they will be by the time I go to bed. But yeah, right now it's 4:30. Yep. You can see out there through this trees, the fog and the wind and the rain. It's not raining right now, thankfully. But even if it does, I've got a good pile of firewood stacked up, ready to go. It's underneath a bunch of cedar boughs, so you know it's not going to stay totally dry, but it's not going to get soaked. And every single place I look up in the hill up there, there's another tree that's down I could get. There's a couple over there. You can see there. Right there, yeah, I can get those. So I picked a good spot for firewood. I'm actually quite comfortable, and my tarps were working well. I have a good stream of heat coming in underneath. I do have ventilation behind me, which I could pull that string downward and seal this in a little bit better if it gets too cold, but yeah, I think I'm going to be great here. I'll even have cell service here, so maybe I'll watch a coal cracker bushcraft video or something while I'm out here for entertainment. I don't even think I need entertainment though. I'm listening to the birds. The dogwood trees are just gorgeous now. They're in full bloom. I really like the dogwood trees, probably because they're white. But yeah, other than that, yeah, so far so good. Just about time to start cooking a steak. Just gonna let this fire get a little bit smaller. Once those coals are out of those bigger pieces there, we should be ready to flash up the frying pan. So it'll be good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, big fat steak. Yeah, that'll be good. Dry. Dirt in there. That don't hurt much. Alright, this is a chunk of lard. Here I got a big piece of lard. Oh, I cooked my steak good. Okay, my knife. Let's take a big chunk of that. So maybe a bit more. Like that. Let that heat up for a second. Let's get this baby on here. Look at that. That's a heavy steak, man. I don't even know if I can eat all that. Cooking in the rain. Not quite there yet. Oh, look at that. Look at that fucking sear. Oh, yeah, that's going to be good. I like the fat a little bit more. Let me eat this motherfucker right now. We get a spool on the frame. Oh, that's hot. Shocking, it's hot. Ah, fuck, that's hot. Should have brought a fork, I guess. I don't know, you might think it's done too much. I think it's pretty damn good. It's not pink, at least. I don't like it when it's purple. Fuck, that's good. Oh yeah, look at that, baby. How could you not want to eat that? And the fire is back. Not even done eating my steak. And the rain stopped. Mostly awesome. Back to this. It's getting dark. Got my bed for the night. Yep. It's pretty dark out there. But yeah, I got a nice fire going. Just keep it going all night. So I got my fire just stoked up a little bit before I headed to bed. And I guess I got a little aggressive with it because I just noticed this. Can you get that? Yeah, it's just about. Basically, what I want to make sure is that I'm not going to burn myself. That sleeping bag isn't cheap. Yeah, it's just about caught my tarp on fire there. So, yeah, interesting turn of events, but yeah, I'm settling in here. I got my mattress laid out nicely. I got a blanket there. It's so dark, it's hard to see. A blanket. And yeah, this is my last call here, so say goodnight and see you guys in the morning. Morning. I survived the night. Wasn't too bad at all. Didn't get cold, didn't get wet. Had to get up and pee, which kind of sucked because didn't have my clothes on, so I had to kind of tough it out to do that. But it's all good. Well, I think it's about 5:30 now. Sort of woke up. I got the fire going again. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit and then probably pack my stuff up and head home. Hopefully I can get out of here before it starts raining because I don't really want to get soaked again. But yeah, that's my overnight adventure. Yeah, not much more to say than that. Saved a little bit of firewood for the morning. Of course, another one strike fire. I will admit though, I cheated and I used one of my little paraffin soaked cotton balls to start this one this morning. It's usually a little easier once you got a bed of charcoal, but yeah, didn't have any fire left when I woke up, so what do I do now? So it's all good. All right.